been on the search for a good bad movie for a while now. Last time I covered Bad Fish, which was a pretty good example of a good bad film because it was trying to be a good film, but it falls short of that because of budget and just lack of quality. So I've been looking for a film that could potentially be another good bad movie. And I think I might have found one that is actually pretty good. But before I get to that, I wanted to mention some films that I watched on the way to get there to get to this point. The first film I found was the movie called MP2V.com, or I think it's called MP2V without the .com, but it's about a website called MP2V.com. MP2V is a found footage film that is just boring as hell. The film just follows these two supposed serial killers as they basically drive around and talk about how hungry they are.
What's the matter? You hungry? You want to go get something? We haven't eaten in a while, man. You want something to eat? I think we need to pull over and get some food.
It's not good at all. They also shoot with the weirdest looking camera in the world. This looks like it's shot in the future, and this is like the future iPhone that everyone's using, but it's not. Reason I wanted to mention this film is for a handful of things. The film starts off with this shot of like this guy sitting in a corner on his computer, and I think it's just like a still image because it doesn't move at all, and it just like dissolves in on him to show that, oh my god, he's on this MP2V site and he watches the movie play out. But the problem with that is that there are multiple times in the film where they break away from the found footage setting. Like there's multiple shots that cannot be achieved unless you actually were filming this like a real movie, but it's supposed to be all found footage, and I just don't know why they broke away from that multiple times in the movie.
Hey, how you doing, sir? We're here for breakfast. Eggs and toast. We want breakfast. We like a more homey environment.
Oh, this is a reality
This looks like
show
a nice...
or something?
Yeah, it's a reality show. Publishers Clearinghouse. Yeah, fuck off!
There's also plenty of scenes that don't make sense from a technical aspect. There's a scene where there's these two characters inside a bakery talking to each other, and you can hear their conversation from this camera, which, by the way, who the hell is filming this? And also, how can you hear them? Unless they're mic'd up. They're in a bakery that's nowhere near where this camera is.
You familiar with the area? You've been
I just moved here. I don't really know much about it, but I know that this town is pretty close to it, and this is the only place you can get a good cup of tea, so.
Oh, okay.
It's probably because they couldn't shoot in the bakery. They couldn't get a permit to film there. So besides the fact that the main guy, the main serial killer of the film is always hungry, other highlights of the film include these two stoners who show up randomly halfway through the film.
I can't wait. I've been wanting to see that band for like 10 years. 10 years. My whole life I wanted to see that band.
So you're 10? But the true highlight of the film comes from this character who is like the boyfriend with the mom of the girl that the serial killer was talking to at the bakery in the town, which is near the place where the boyfriend of the mom with the daughter lives. You tracking that? There's a scene where this mom and daughter are arguing and they're talking about like, you know, life being unfair and whatnot. And then the boyfriend comes in. He looks like he's supposed to be, you know, in his mid-50s, but he looks like he's 21. He's doing his best Hulk Hogan impression, and he delivers the best line of the film, the best sequence in the film by far.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up, both of you! Every fucking day, I gotta hear you two argue. Bullshit. Bitch and moan. Bitch and moan. Get a fucking job and get out of the house so I can watch fucking football on TV I can't watch. And you get the hell out of town. Don't you talk to me like that.
I talk to you very much, and you're not my dad.
Well, pretty soon I will be your daddy. I'm gonna spank you little bottom. No, you are a capital H as in whore. Alright? Whore.
A capital H?
Yes.
It's the W, you scumbag.
Yeah, whatever. WH, the same meaning, for Christ's sake.
And then I found there was like a full 25-minute behind the scenes on this film, which I don't know if there's much to talk about there. I'll add something here if there is something.
You see these movies and there's always a rhyme and a reason why things happen, what happens next, the plot twist. No, life don't work that way.
You don't know everything that's happening. We don't want to explain everything in every single moment to people.
I'm not big on the plot twist. I don't need to know your mother's father was your uncle's sister in her previous... I couldn't care less. I don't need everything answered.
So you don't want a plot? This film is very fascinating, and also, it's only been watched by like 100 people, at least on Letterboxd. I looked, I was like the 92nd person to watch this film, and you know, no one knows about this film, but I saw it. So I was gonna talk about that film, but that film was garbage, until I found Death's Door. Now, you might be wondering, what's Death's Door? Death's Door is incredible. I got about 5 seconds in, and when I saw the production company, I lost all hope. We are in the year 1931, watching a magic show that just looks terrible. Everyone in the audience looks pissed that not only are they dealing with the Great Depression, but they have to watch this crappy magic show. The magician, Mesmer, decides to heat things up a bit by locking himself in a box and setting it on fire. Problem is, he has no idea what he's doing and he burns himself alive. Before his last breath, he curses his assistants for doing their job. Alright, we just got this intriguing, we just got an intro, and I wonder what year we're gonna jump to now. Oh, the year now. You could have just said present, that's what movies usually do, but I guess that's the same thing. Also, we will meet several characters throughout this film, majority of them either not named or their names given to us like at the end of the film. So I'm going to point out all the characters as we go along, but just note that there is a very good chance that I did not get their names right. And also, if you go to the IMDb page to look up anything on a lot of these actors, majority of them either don't have a page, or if they do, they just have that standard icon symbol, so I can't find out who is who in this film. And also the credited names are not the same as their actual names too, so that's great. We meet two guys, Bruce and Rick. They seem to hate everything about each other, but are the best of friends. Bruce is a skeptic and Rick is a nerd. They very fleshed out characters. We also meet this other character, Suzanne, who is by far the best character in the film. Not because she's interesting or anything, but the actress that plays her gives 150% effort about 10% of the time.
We're sorry, I'm sorry!
The scene is also a good example of why it's important to record good audio on set, because the audio coming from Suzanne's friend on her phone sounds much better than her audio.
To a killer party.
Okay, so we need a story here, so let's actually go back to the mansion from the start of the film, and there's this guy there who, did he buy the mansion? Did he break in? I don't know, they never say, but apparently he wants to throw a party here.
Man, it's crazy in here, man. Yo, it's like some kind of museum or something.
A museum doesn't sound like a fun place to have a party.
Building, dog, it's crazy. What the fuck? Yo, retreat, man. Let's get out of here, man. Yo, oh, what the? God damn. What the fuck was that?
What a perfect segue into a title card. By the way, the ghost here, Jomo, is played by Tommy Tiny Lister, who was actually in The Dark Knight. He was the guy who threw the trigger out of the prison boat because he's good. He might have murdered someone. So the guy who just left the house is the one who presumably set up the party. You think he would, cancel the party if he doesn't want to be there. Turns out that doesn't happen, and the party still happens. While all of these characters have something connected, this seems like one of the most random parties ever to be thrown. There's a great part where there's this couple that shows up, they see Jomo, and the guy just instantly runs away, leaving his girl behind, and you never see them again. We also hear this music in the background playing, and I don't know where it's coming from because there's no sound system in this museum. There are 3 songs in this film, 2 of them by the same person, his name being Sizzle Pop, which is a great name. Sizzle Pop was actually that guy at the beginning talking about how this is a really cool museum to throw a party in.
All down here, like right now, yeah.
And the other is writer and director of the film, Kennedy Goolsby. Goolsby has done several other bad films, including Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles, which actually got a special thanks in the credits of this movie. And like I said, there's really not a lot of behind the scenes here of what other people have done. The most noteworthy actor in this film, I would say, is Chico Benjamin, who plays Bruce. He was in a TV show called Half and Half. That's it. Looking around the mansion more, there's no indication of this being a party at all. The only thing here is a fridge with beer and a small platter of food. I mean, look at this spread. There's only half a bowl of chips, a platter with peas with ranch, and the only drinks are these 2 cans of Pitbull energy drinks. I only know that's what it is because they also got a special thanks in the credits. I'm assuming for this one shot. We meet some more characters, including this guy with the deepest V-neck ever. He's showing more cleavage than his girlfriend. I broke out laughing when I saw this character, and I was very convinced that this had to have been a parody film or a comedy at this point. There's no way that this is an actual serious film. But the way the rest of the film goes, I think they were serious. V-neck's name is Dean, and his girl is... well, they actually never say her name in the film, but I'm assuming her name is Robin, because someone's name is Robin. and they never said who that was, so I'm assuming that's who this is. Also, keep in mind the relationships that people have with each other in this film, because like I said, they're all connected for some reason we don't know yet, and so just keep in mind some of the things that people do in this film with each other, okay? There's one random scene here where there's this couple who's clearly talking, but there's no audio playing, and they are attacked by Joma. We never see these people again. Our main characters finally interact with each other, and it's over a piece of ham on that amazing party spread. These guys are two bros who will always be by each other's side. One of them, Mark, likes to say bitch a lot.
I know a bitch leg when I see one. We gotta have a bitch in the bathtub!
The other guy is, well, I think his name is Gary? Again, they never say his name, but yeah, Gary. He looks like a Gary. Honestly, none of these characters stand out as much as Suzanne.
Whoa, Alexis! Save some for Godzilla!
Lastly, there's Alexis and Elena, which are these characters. Now that we know everyone, it's time to scream. I'll give you 3 answers as to why she is screaming. Is it A, the door won't open, B, she realized she is in this movie, or C, she wanted that piece of ham? Regardless of what you answer, it doesn't matter. There's just going to be a lot of screaming in this film, okay? So now everyone is fixated on trying to open the front door, and, you know, I feel like I've seen this before.
What the hell is in here?
They give up on trying to open that door and go to the back door, where when they try to open it, it clearly looks like they should be able to open it. In fact, it looks like it's not locked at all, but the actor is trying super hard to make sure that door does not open. Also, maybe if he pushed on the door, that might help. Everyone's freaking out that they can't leave, besides Bruce, because ass crack?
Women who need security from a physical threat, that's what I call some serious ass crack.
Seriously. Bruce is all about getting ass.
Yeah, I'm scared I might leave without a handful of ass.
So then the lights start to flicker, and I got a perfectly timed ad. I got a few great ad breaks throughout this film. The screaming continues as they go into the hall, where V-Neck finds a skeleton and seems more annoyed than scared.
Oh my god, it's a fucking dead man!
Some start freaking out that this is real, while Bruce feels confident that it is fake. The scariest part is as they walk away, the body has already disappeared, because from this shot you should clearly see the body if it was still there, but it's not. We then get the first of many scenes in the film where characters split up for no reason at all, just for one scene, then they're back together. Our first example here is Suzanne, Dean, and Robin, who go into the smokiest room in the house. They try to get a signal, but spend more time screaming. Meanwhile, in the hall...
That's brilliant.
Really? What ideas did you come up with, huh?
Stupid.
Who said that?
Stupid.
Then back with V-Neck and co, Suzanne gives an incredible acting performance.
Sick of this fucking hopeless! Getting sick of this fucking shit. No good goddamn piece of shit!
Okay, I can't keep playing all these random moments because it's just gonna go on for so long, because this happens throughout the entire film. So I'm just gonna put a lot of those random moments at the end of this video. If you want to watch those, you can see them at the end. But seriously, if you want to experience how weird this film is, you can go watch it, but it's weird. The film is basically a collection of these random moments. You know your phone has a flashlight, right? V-Neck and co are surrounded by smoke suddenly, and then we fade away to never find out what happened. Did they die? Well, next time we see them, they're completely fine, so I guess not. So the entire middle of this film is basically just characters going up to doors, trying to open them, saying, oh no, this door is locked. But then all of a sudden, the front door is unlocked. Why? I can't tell you, but now it is. Before they leave, Bruce wants a beer out of the kitchen and decides to leave the door unattended, and it closes on them. Kendra, which actually I don't think I've pointed out that there's this other character, Kendra, this is her. Kendra freaks out, and Mark decides to make his alpha male stance.
Something isn't working here.
Come on, baby, let a man do it.
Turns out he was right though, as the door opens up. But it doesn't go outside, it goes to a bathroom which is currently occupied by a woman, who is green screened into this room. You can even see some of the green reflecting off of her, and also those weird looking rats. So what do the characters do? Scream, of course.
This is some shit!
They all calm down besides Kendra. Calm down, everything will be alright. Elena, you're needed on the phone. They ultimately decide that they are stuck in this house forever and give up. They don't even attempt to break a window or tear down any of the flimsy boards that have been put up. In fact, all of the screaming is really exhausting, so some of them decide to go to bed. Upstairs, V-Neck and co decide to go to sleep, but there's not much sleeping going on between Dean and Suzanne. Nothing is hornier than being stuck in a haunted house next to your sleeping girlfriend. Wait. So since nothing has happened in a while, we watch Gary go to the bathroom, when suddenly the lights go out.
Shit.
Everything turns red and he apparently pissed blood? Must be all those Pitbull energy drinks. He goes out to see a guillotine like this is the gallows or something, and then the composer decides to experiment a bit. Gary isn't a music fan though, so he decides to stick his head in the guillotine? What? Why? And then his head gets chopped off. But he's fine? Look, I know this is all confusing and it doesn't make sense, but I'm sure the film is going to explain it. What? They're not going to explain it? Oh. Shit. Gary brings everyone else there, where Bruce keeps saying that this is just all a trick and nothing is real. But Bruce already saw that dead rat lady in the bathroom like 3 minutes ago. Why does he think this is fake?
At Red Robin,
they go back to the other room where Bruce slips on a blood-soaked tarp that he should have clearly seen. The blood is coming from a random moving blanket on the couch, and Alana makes the weirdest noise.
I can!
What?
I can!
To prove it is fake, Bruce tastes the blood and then says it must be animal blood. Like, Bruce, who do you think is doing this?
this can't. See, man, I told you it's probably like animal blood or something.
Okay, but who's pulling all of these tricks? There's a box in the corner of the room that freaks everyone out. Bruce now blames Mark for killing someone, even though he just thought this was a prank like 5 seconds ago. And then Mark just decks Rick.
Get the hell out, Bruce!
It was an accident. I wasn't even aiming at him.
He looks pretty dead here, but he's not. The bell on the box starts ringing, and everyone screams, again. And then Bruce says it's all a prank. Again. I think you get the pattern of what's going on in this film. Dean and Suzanne come down to help, and to be Canadian, apparently.
What's everybody standing around for? Come on, let's get this open!
They open the box to Kendra with her legs cut off, and it looks, well, bad. She tries to get it out, and Mark freaks out and just slams the top of the box on her. But they open it back up, and she is fine. You know what? I think Bruce might be right. I guess this is all just a prank. Kendra explains what happened to her, which was a very traumatic moment for her. Like someone going through a tough situation, Bruce laughs at her.
I saw all of you there.
You should have seen you guys' face. It was priceless.
Mesmer decides to give us a bit more insight on what is happening.
My greatest trick of all time will be no trick at all. Time. For all time.
Yeah, none of that was helpful. Dean makes up to his girlfriend by cheating on her by not telling her he cheated on her, with the loudest breathing I've ever heard in a film.
What?
I didn't mean to.
Robin goes to the bathroom where she very intentionally knocks over the toilet paper and finds out that her phone recorded Dean having sex. Now you might be wondering how did that happen, which is a completely fair question. But what I'm more interested in is that if you look at her phone, it says it's 8:26, which feels pretty early for everything that's been going on. And apparently she also has cell reception and she has a Wi-Fi connection? So how have they not contacted anyone?
Is everything okay? What's going on here? What?
We heard fighting.
I don't care. Everyone starts arguing about what time it is, even though we all know it's around 8:30, just look at Robin's phone, but then the house starts to shake.
What about my friend? Hey! I'm not going anywhere without her!
What is happening?
The rumbling is caused by a box being nailed shut, like Mesmer at the beginning. Almost like they're in a box. Clever. Suzanne, what do you think about that?
What the fuck do they want from us?
I'm sorry, what?
What the fuck do they want from us?
I think they want you to watch an ad.
I don't know why, but for some freaking reason, someone must have heard us.
Launch a product.
So, after all of that, Bruce is still a skeptic, and he actually blames Kendra for not covering her ears, which means she did it, and she must be the prankster. Then there's more arguing and more screaming, and yeah, you get the point. Later on, the dynamic trio of Bruce, Alexis, and Kendra explore a different area, and I discovered that there are multiple shots where they forgot to scale up their footage. Who could ever do something as stupid as that? Bruce sticks his hand into a hole in the wall, and it goes like you'd expect.
I'm just kidding.
You are a fucking jerk! Fucking jerk!
Hey, but I did find something.
Oh my god, you guys are so stupid, so dumb that you fell for that. But no, I did find something in the wall. It turns out it is a deed to the house, which has to do with inheritance or something, which is a direct quote from Bruce.
What does the deed have to do with this house? I mean, maybe it has an inheritance or something.
V-Neck and co-star going through photo albums and documents and learn about Mesmar. They also find this newspaper clipping which seems a bit too humorous for someone dying. We leave the year now and go back to 1931 and learn more about the assistant and the wife of Mesmer. They were planning to kill him during one of their tricks, but I mean, why would you kill the person that's making you all your money? Well, probably because his show only brings in about like 10 people. They probably don't even make enough money to buy a water pie. Also, his assistant here is played by the same actor who plays Dean. I know he is pretty hard to recognize because he has a mustache on, but I'm telling you that is the same actor. Jomo also burnt his face trying to save Mesmar, and this is when he cursed his assistants. Though, how does Mesmar have actual real magic? If he does, why would he put on such a crappy show? And also, why does Jomo haunt the mansion and Mesmar doesn't? You know, those are all great questions I would love answers to. So anyways, Mark talks about white people.
Man, white people collect the weirdest shit.
Mark, you're white.
More screaming leads to a bathroom where there are some legs in a tub, or as Mark puts it,
I know a bitch leg when I see one.
Bruce once again says this is all fake, and Rick tells him to take a bite out of the leg to prove it's real. Apparently Bruce's mouth is the greatest detective of all time. He licks it, spits it out, and says that doesn't prove anything. So then why'd he do that? It's pointless. You know, Bruce could have his arms torn off and someone says, Bruce, your arms have been torn off, and he'd be like, nah man, this is just a trick. Okay, look, we've just been doing the same thing over and over again for an hour. Can we do something to spice this up?
Bitch.
He's got a deed to the house or some kind of family tree thing.
I've had about enough of this.
Oh, what are you gonna do now, Mr. Big?
Oh, Mark has a gun. Of course. They get into a scuffle and Mark shoots Bruce, and Bruce dies. Bruce's last words as he died were, "This ain't real," and then he proceeded to lick his bullet wound and said, "Oh, this is just animal blood, and this is all just a trick," and then died. Meanwhile, Rick and Kendra hook up, but you're wondering how that happened? Well, I'll tell you. It's because Rick did a magic trick. Horribly. That's it, I guess. Everyone comes up to tell Rick that Bruce is dead.
Rick, wake up, man. Rick. What? Got bad news. There's been an accident. Bruce is dead.
What?
Nobody meant for it to happen. It just happened.
Rick doesn't know what they did last summer, but he surely knows that they killed Bruce. Kendra isn't responding, so they pull off the sheets to see her legs are missing. Everyone freaks out, especially Rick. Rick, calm down, everything will be alright. Hey Dean, the V-Neck company is calling for you. It's Kendra's legs in the bathtub, by the way, if you didn't know. Kendra was with them at the time when they discovered the legs in the bathroom, so that doesn't really make sense. But as Mark points out,
we gotta have a bitch in the bathtub!
Dean gets his 23andMe results back and wants everyone to look at it.
Take a look at this thing and see if anything stands out to you. Look at it.
Turns out they are all related to Mesmar's wife or assistant in some way. Hence he cursed those assistants and their ancestors. Even though, why would you curse your assistants and then they go on to live a life that somehow led to them having kids and grandkids and, you know, a whole family tree. Doesn't seem like it's a really good curse if you let it go beyond their lives, but hey, who am I to judge? But so this is the part in the film where I want you to understand that so all these characters are related in some way. And I believe Suzanne and Dean specifically are like cousins of each other, and they did some stuff. And also Kendra and Rick did some stuff. All this is to say that I learned that this film takes place in Alabama. This news doesn't go very well with Suzanne.
We're sorry! I'm sorry! But we didn't do it! So please, spare us!
Whoever she's begging to here decides that she should be possessed by the magician's wife. And Rick is possessed by Mesmar, I guess. And this is a great example of why dubbing doesn't capture the same authenticity of the actors.
Cause you're the one that has to be stopped. You're freaking scaring everybody.
By the way, they're in just like a giant warehouse basement now. Rick tries to leave this place, but he gets shot in the back by Suzanne. And then Gary voices my frustrations here.
Stop screaming like that!
A door opens up and gives them a chance to leave. But before they go, Dean learns some news from his girlfriend.
Let me go! Please! I'm pregnant!
Oh, that's sweet. You know, that's a really nice moment for these two. I'm sure that when they get out of here that they are going to have a Oh my god. They run into Jomo, who takes them to an elevator, which leads to a box with Suzanne's dead body in it, which I thought she was just with them a minute ago, but whatever. And then it just turns into every character just screaming nonsense. Then we get a freeze frame. Is the movie finally over?
Bruce Powell, Mark Pierce's matrolateral second cousin once removed.
Wait, Keith David narration? What? Anyways, all of the characters die off screen in super cool, awesome ways that, you know, really sucks we couldn't see all the super cool ways that they died. But, you know, I'm sure that happened because this film just didn't have a budget. In fact, what was the budget for this film? Oh. The movie ends with Robin pleading to the paramedics to let her stay in the house. But the Airbnb rental ended today, so they gotta go. And that is the movie. This film is really bad. But I gotta be honest with you, it was so crazy and over the top at times that I actually found it pretty enjoyable. And part of the reason I like this a lot is that this film takes itself seriously and is trying to be good. And since it tries to be good and ends up being bad, that's just what makes it much better for me. This film had $300,000 and utilized none of it in any good way. There is just one last thing I want to point out real quick. I mentioned a lot of the special thanks that this movie had. One special thanks at the very end was to Tommy Wiseau for something he helped them with this film, which, you know, that might explain a lot. Anyways, here's all the weird moments in the film. Enjoy.
Bitch, what's wrong with you?
I just don't like that bitch.
Ah, we in the building, dog. It's great. What the fuck?
Weird. Yeah, take that right there. Oh, nice. Smell that.
Suzanne, don't! Wait!
There are 4 types of people in this world. Those who panic in a crisis, those that analyze a crisis and do nothing, and those that exploit all the others.
Wait, that's 3, man.
You prove my point. You're in the second category.
This house is crazy.
Oh, okay. Don't listen to the guy with the glasses. I mean, I've only tried it 100 times, Goldilocks.
Where are you going? Come back! What's wrong with this house?
I don't know. I'll figure it out.
What's wrong with this house, Dean? We're